All right, and we're back. So, first thing we want to talk about is our picks. Now that preseason's about wrapped up, we're through 2 weeks of preseason. Next week will be the last week. We want to, now that we have a better idea who's going to be on the rosters and all that, we're going to run through and pick our division winners, conference winners, Super Bowl winners, and then we're going to talk about players that we have pegged for the various awards throughout the league. And then we'll talk a little bit about Raiders, Packers, and we'll go from there. So, starting off, we're going to talk about the NFC West. Last year, the winners of that division were the Seahawks, and then obviously Rams, Cardinals, and 49ers followed up. This year, I think this is going to be one of the most competitive divisions in the league because I think all four of those teams are really good. So you got Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, 49ers, and 49ers were just strung with a bunch of injuries last year. They had Garoppolo go out. They had Kittle go out. Obviously, those are huge contributors. So losing them for any length of the season was not good for them. But this year they have Trey Lance coming in. I think he's probably going to unseat Garoppolo probably towards the beginning of the season, if not right at the start. He looked really good in preseason. He's looked good in practices. So I think for this division, I'm going to say 49ers are probably going to be my pick for this, which is when we first talked about this, I don't know, 3 months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think I was even considering the 49ers. But the way that Trey Lance has looked and they're getting healthy, their defense is good. So with Shanahan and Trey Lance going forward, I think that's going to be a really tough combination. Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, I think you could probably just flip to figure out who's going to be second in that division. With Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, they're great. Great offense. They've taken some steps, like adding J.J. Watt to help that defense. The Rams, they're pretty much always good with Sean McVay under the helm. They have great defense. And adding Matt Stafford, I think that's a huge upgrade over Jordan Goff. So they're going to be great too. And then the Seahawks, obviously, Russell Wilson. He just always makes that offense even better than it probably should be.
Way better.
And then the defense is always good. This is probably the team that scares me the most, though, because they've looked awful in preseason. And obviously that doesn't say a lot about how you're going to play, but it at least talks somewhat about your depth, because you're seeing a lot of the second and third stringers. So if they have any injuries, I think it's going to be a rough season for them. So they're probably my favorite to actually take last in the division, maybe Cardinals. But so out of this one, I'm going to pick the 49ers, which hurts me because I hate San Francisco. But who do you have?
49ers, I think, are going to be a very surprising team in the NFL this year. I think they are going to win or could win a bunch of games. You know, it's hard to predict exactly how things are going to go. Last time we talked about this, I think his name is just dropped from my mind. The defensive edge guy.
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa. I think he's going to be a huge factor in this defense, and I think they're going to be really good.
Yeah, well, and that's
and
one that's
like
one
you
injury
said,
I forgot to mention. He was out most of the year last year too. So.
And his first year was phenomenal with a just amazing defense. They lost the Robert Salas, which sucks a lot for them, but I think the talent is, you can't miss with that kind of talent on the team. So
I
think they're going to be a really good team.
Max Crosby had a better rookie season.
Oh, really?
Than Nick Bosa.
Well, you are Raider blind, obviously.
If you put the pictures that just said player A, player B, put stats below it, everyone would pick Max Crosby season 1. And you're not even considering the defense that was surrounding him. Bosa had a much better cast on defense to help
Mm-hmm.
him get free, get to the quarterback
Mm-hmm.
than Max had. Just
Yep,
saying.
I agree.
Go on.
But he's still gonna be amazing. So
He is.
yeah,
That's not taking anything away from him. I just
I
think
think it
that Max
does
got hosed.
because they're on a terrible team,
We'll
and
talk more about them soon.
it's kind of like what's his face on the Rams.
Aaron
Like, he can't
Donald.
do everything. Yeah, but
You know
going
what?
back to the Rams, what?
I think I'm going to change my pick to the Rams.
No, I was gonna say, I'm going back to the Rams. They're my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're thinking on the same stream here, but
I want to see Matt Stafford on a good team
yeah.
because he has been just woefully disappointing on a bad team for a long time.
Well,
And I'm excited to see him because I like Matt Stafford. I'm
yeah.
excited to see him on a good team. So this will be a very defining year for his career. Is it the team's bad because he's not a good quarterback? Can't win? Because I don't see that.
No. I think he's
I think they're
definitely
going to
kept
be
the Lions a lot more competitive than they should have been.
ever should have
Especially
been.
in those I think they had a couple like 10 and 6 years where they were
Yeah.
in the playoff race. So I don't think that he was a part of the problem at all in Detroit. And like you said, I think having Sean McVay teamed up with Matt Stafford is going to be a great thing for the team.
It's going to make Robert Woods and uh,
Coop.
Cooper Cup
Mm-hmm.
look phenomenal. If you're playing fantasy this year, look out for these two guys because it's going to be a Stafford loves to throw the ball.
Yep.
And he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and they
I
lost
mean,
their starting running back already
yeah,
for the
Cam
season.
Akers went down.
Yep. So you're probably going to
So
see
that's
them
going to
aired
be a
out
big
quite a bit.
loss.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think just talking through this, I think the Rams are probably my favorite now that I think more
Yeah.
about it because they have the defense already. Plus, you got the addition of Matt Stafford, probably makes them a little more competitive, and they had 10 wins last season. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna switch to the Rams as the favorite. Um, yeah, and then probably 49ers second, and then Cardinals and Seahawks towards the back. So
Yeah. Cardinals and Seahawks are going to be a wash. It's
see, and I could
I don't
see,
know if D or what is it? What is it? DeAndre Hopkins.
yeah,
He's talked about not playing because of the COVID rules.
he
So
will,
I don't know.
he will play.
I think he will,
He's not
but
gonna
there's
turn
still
down
that.
27.5 million.
Oh,
So
yeah,
he'll be in there. He may not want to get the shot, and that's fine. Like that's up to everyone on their personal preference, whatever. But he'll be out there. I promise. Um, but yeah, I think this could be a division that 9, 10 wins get you in the playoffs because the competition is so stiff within the division. Um, I could see them definitely just beating the crap out of each other and no one having a great record, I guess, because it's you know so evenly matched in this division. So we'll see what happens with that. But moving on, we got the NFC South. Saints won it last year, one game over the Buccaneers, and then Panthers and Falcons. I'm not going to spend too much time on this division because I think Bucks are probably the runaway favorite. I do think Jameis Winston is going to do pretty well with the Saints, which sounds ridiculous
it does
because,
sound ridiculous. You sound like a silly person.
well, you saw how he played with the Buccaneers. Um, he played okay. He had 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions or something like that.
30-30.
Yeah, so anyway, he obviously had way too many turnovers, but since then he has had surgery. He's backed up eye surgery, and then he has backed up Drew Brees for the last couple seasons. So I think there's a really good chance that he could play a lot better than he did in his Buccaneers days. You shake your head all day. Just look. When it happens, you heard it here.
Okay, I will bet on that.
And then Panthers, I like the coach Matt Rule out there. Who did they get at quarterback? Sam
Sam
Darnold.
Darnold.
So we'll be interested to see what he does out there. Obviously, the Jets are a dumpster fire, so it's tough to evaluate a career based on their whole experience. But he'll
Have you
definitely
watched any of their preseason stuff?
Jets.
Yeah.
I've seen a few things. Like I watched a lot of the what's the Zach Wilson. I watched a lot of
Okay.
his play. Um, not necessarily the whole game, but they showed a lot of the highlights from his afternoon. It looked like he had a pretty decent one. So um, I just don't know. Like Matt Sala, he's a great coach, obviously on the defensive side. So we'll see how that all comes together. I just don't have much faith in a first-year quarterback, first-year head coach doing a lot of damage. So not an
Right.
indictment on the Jets, so to speak, because obviously they've been a dumpster fire for the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years since not Matt Ryan, Rex Ryan. Since he got fired, they really haven't done anything since then. So Panthers, Falcons, I think they're going to be towards the bottom of the division again. So although the Falcons did get Arthur Smith, who was the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans the last few years, and he obviously had a great offensive system. I think the Falcons have quite a bit of talent, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them, towards the middle of the pack, and probably the Panthers finishing that division in last. So Bucks for me. I'm assuming same for you.
Uh, I want to say Tom Brady gets hurt and the Bucks suck.
I want to say that too, but it's not going to happen.
Well, this is what I'm predicting.
You think he's going to get hurt?
And yeah,
I
I
think
do.
he's missed what, 12 games in his career?
No, he's missed an entire season.
Wasn't I thought he went out towards the beginning or towards I think it was like game 4.
It was like game 2.
No. Okay. Well, he's played for 20
Anyway,
years and he's missed, let's say, less than 20
yeah,
games.
but he's never been 43
Yeah,
before,
I guess.
and he got beat up this weekend, I believe.
I didn't
So
see that, but
I don't know. I think they got an extremely talented team. They should be the best in the NFC, really. They should be much better than they were last year. But I don't know. I'm hoping and praying it doesn't work out that way. So this is what I'm betting on, okay? So that happens. Bucks suck. They might win third or second, maybe, in the division, just because they might win a bunch of games before he gets hurt, okay? The Falcons, I don't know what it is every year. They go this, up and down. They suck one year, and then they're on top of the division. They suck, and then they're on top of the division. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons take it this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Big stretch, big reach. But I like the Panthers. It's going to be extremely hard to determine where they come in. I see them lower
Yeah.
just because. I mean, they're kind of an unknown. They have CMC, but
Honestly,
who
I
else?
I feel like they probably need to just trade CMC at this
I
point
mean,
because I feel like they're
you'd like
one of the
to.
worst teams in the entire league, and trading him would at least get them some assets where they can build for next year. Because this team's not winning many games this year, I don't believe. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, that
But
to
he
your point, they
probably
have
one of like
him,
a like,
DJ Moore on offense. He's wide
yeah.
receiver. Outside of that, I don't think they have really much. So
Yeah. Like I like Anderson, but nobody's really like blowing my mind.
yeah,
I mean, it's Sam Darnold. Maybe he could have a good year outside of the Jets. I don't know. It's not, nobody's like blowing my mind over there. So, and the Saints are going to suck. They're going to blow. Thomas is going to hate everyone because Jameis Winston sucks.
I think he's gonna
And
surprise you.
what's the other quarterback's name?
Uh, shoot. Hill,
Hill,
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
There we go.
Yeah. I hope for him, but I think he's going to do not much better.
Yeah,
And it's going to be a quarterback battle back and forth. They're going to be wanting
I'm
Hill, and then
shocked.
they're going to be wanting Wise.
I'm
What's his
shocked he's
face?
still in the league. Honestly, Taysom Hill. Like, he's one of those
Yeah.
players that's average at a lot of things, but not good at anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like he was great at what he did for the Saints while Brees was playing.
Yeah,
I think that was really well, but taking over the quarterback job, too much for him.
not a chance.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
And Jameis Winston is just a bad quarterback.
Yep. I don't believe you, but we'll see.
But yeah.
So
Moving on.
moving on, we got the NFC East, which the winner of this division was the Washington football team at 7-9 last year. So not a great division. Obviously, Dak Prescott got hurt. They had the Carson Wentz situation going on with the Eagles. Giants had Saquon get hurt right at the beginning of the season, missed most of it. Washington football team had really Alex Smith come in and just will them into the playoffs and then shipped him off. So I don't know. This is one of those crapshoot divisions where Washington winning it last year probably tells you they're not going to win it again this upcoming year because they haven't had a repeat winner in, I think it's going on like 20 years now or something close to that. I really don't know who to pick in this division. I think the easiest pick would be the Cowboys with Dak returning. If they were able to go 6-10 without him, they should probably be able to win a couple more games with him. And I don't really think any of the teams in this division are good, so I guess I'll go with the Cowboys to win this division with Dak returning. And who's the running back? Zeke. He looks like he's in better shape coming into the
He lost a bunch
camp.
of weight.
So between those two, I think they could probably get it done in this division. Like I said, I don't think there's a ton of talent.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that scares me about that is Washington also has a really good defense. They got Chase Young, Kerrigan. I don't know. Kerrigan left to the Giants, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who else is on that defensive line. Montez Sweat. They've got really good defense, so that could keep them in most of the games. So I think I'd probably go Cowboys and then Washington and then probably Giants, Eagles in that order. So who you got?
When I look at who to pick, I look at quarterbacks. Dak Prescott's probably the best quarterback in that group. So I'm just going to go with the Cowboys with that overall.
Okay.
Like you said, Washington. I think I picked Washington the last time we did this just because I like their defense most. And I was talking about what's his name, the quarterback for Washington, Heineke.
Yeah.
I think he's number 2 in the depth chart, so I don't know if he's going to play. I'd love to see him play a bunch, but I don't know. Can't see him winning. Jalen Hurts is going to be okay. That roster's talented, but there's a lot of questions. Yeah, I don't think the Giants are going to be shit. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The Giants, if Daniel Jones plays well and Saquon is back out there healthy, obviously I could see them doing some things. They also added Kenny Golladay from Detroit. He's been a great wide receiver over in Detroit, so you just never know. I quarterback's obviously a great consideration there when you're picking. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick's probably going to start the year for the Washington football team, and he's been consistently an average quarterback, which I think he's had a 17-year career or something like
Yeah,
that.
he's consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, he plays great for 3 games straight, and then looks like the worst quarterback in the league for 3. And I don't know if they have some kind of rotation like what the Dolphins did last year, where they brought in Tua, and then when he started to struggle, they'd bring in Fitzpatrick. If they do something like that, but yeah, Heineke looked like he might be a player late last year, so I'd be interested to see if Fitzpatrick holds him off for the entire season, or if they start to struggle if they move on to Heineke and see what he does. So, but I'm still going to go
Mm-hmm.
with, like you said, Cowboys. As long as
Yeah,
Dak's healthy, they're the team to beat in that division. So
that's what I believe.
the only problem is we still don't know if he's 100% healthy because he just had an MRI on his shoulder, and the Cowboys are saying it was just precautionary, everything's fine, nothing came back. So obviously you don't just get an MRI for fun, so there's got to be something going on. But if they keep saying it's nothing, then we won't worry about it for now.
Yeah, have you watched any Hard Knocks?
No, I've just
I,
kind
I,
of been watching on Twitter, like the clips that they
yeah,
post, but
the, it's like Dak Prescott's like favorite pastime activity to take MRIs. He gets like 2 or 3 a week,
gets pretty
or
pricey.
that's what the players were making fun of him for. I know. Like,
Anyway,
if he can do it, I guess let him do it. But
I'm going to have you
I don't know.
take the reins on this one since it's your division. NFC North.
Oh, the NFC North. This is easy.
It
Bears
really is.
suck. Minnesota sucks. Detroit sucks. Green Bay's got a clear win.
Yep.
There's
Yeah,
not. There's no other path. It's just. I mean, for honest, for real, Green Bay's got the most talented roster in this division, hands down.
easy. And even if
And
Justin Fields plays out of his mind for the Bears whenever he takes over, I
yeah,
still don't see it happening. He's been pretty impressive in the preseason, but the Bears' defense has been awful, and that's their strength.
abysmal.
So,
Yeah,
like I said, preseason's a terrible indicator for how you're going to do in the regular season because you don't typically play a lot of your starters. Bambi's talking.
huh.
But anyway, the Bears defense, the backup defense has been awful. So if they have any injuries, it's going to get real ugly real quick. And Packers obviously had a great team last year. They're returning most of their players, so it makes sense that they'll stay at the top. Vikings, I think, are basically just in a free fall. Uh, Kirk Cousins hasn't been great the last few seasons, and I don't see him recovering his form ever. Lions losing Matt Stafford and getting Jordan Goff. I
Yeah,
think that was a win for the Rams on that trade.
Jared Goff,
Jared Goff. What did I say?
Jordan.
Jordan. Jared Goff. Excuse me. So anyway, yeah, I think we're both on the same page there with the Packers winning that.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
easy, hands down.
that gives us Rams. Let's see, Rams, Bucks, Cowboys, and Packers for me. So I'm guessing the Packers will have the best record since they have the easiest division. So it would be probably Packers and Cowboys. Packers, Cowboys, I'm guessing. So I'll go Packers there, and then Rams, Bucks. I'm going to go Rams. So it'd be Rams and Packers in
Nice.
the conference championship. I'm going to go Rams there because best I can do is shit all over the organization and lose in the
Best I can do.
NFC championship. So Rams will be
Nailed that, man.
representing the NFC and for my picks. Let's hear yours.
Uh, considering Tom Brady goes down,
I guess I didn't consider wild cards in there, but my pick
Yeah,
stands.
wild card. No, fuck him. It's not going to happen. As long as Tom Brady is injured, Green Bay takes the conference
Okay.
and heads to the Super Bowl.
All right. So we got our Super Bowl representatives from the NFC. Now let's move on to the AFC. So starting with AFC South, we've got Titans, Colts, Texans, Jags. And this is another one of those divisions that I think is probably going to be pretty easy to pick. Um, Titans took it last year. Colts had the same record, but Titans took the head-to-head. So um, we've talked about this before. I don't believe in Todd Downing, which is the offensive coordinator for the Titans, but I feel like they've made enough moves to even offset him being their offensive coordinator. So I'm still going to pick the Titans. Colts, Carson Wentz is already hurt. We don't know how long he's going to be out. They said 5 to 12 weeks. At that time, that would have put him coming back at earliest week 2, I believe. And then, obviously, if you stretch that out to 12 weeks, then it would be week plus 7, week 8 in the season. Um, I think he's probably on track for towards the beginning of that time frame, so maybe week 2. I don't know if he makes enough of a difference to take them over the hump. They have a great defense. Darius Leonard just re-signed with them. I think the defense is going to keep them in most games, and then the Texans and Jaguars are probably going to be ass again. So I'm going to go Titans, Colts, and then the other two just at the bottom. So what do you got?
Yeah, I honestly, what I saw from Trevor Lawrence didn't really like blow my mind. He made a couple good plays in preseason, but I'm looking at overall play in the preseason with every throw, every miss, every completion, just his mindset, presence on the field didn't really blow my mind. Trey Lance over in San Francisco felt much, much more solid. So I can't see him doing much, and I do got him at the bottom.
Yeah. I think
Uh,
their roster from last year is just too much to overcome. Um,
yeah,
so even adding Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, I don't think that's enough to get you off the ground.
yeah, and they're selling off their defensive players right now.
Yeah.
Uh, I can't remember who just got one of their cornerbacks, but they just let one of their top cornerbacks go. So I kind of think that they're just kind of preparing for next season. It's
Yeah.
just a practice season this year.
Yeah. See what
So
they have and then build on it. So
yeah, uh, they're not going to do shit. I really believe the Titans are going to be a good team. Like you said, coaching, it's going to be really hard to get around a shitty coach, but it's such a talented roster that they still could.
yeah.
Uh, we talked about it before. Running Derrick Henry into the ground the last 2 seasons. He's a big dude and tough, but wear and tear on a body like that is evident in running backs. It's going to slow him down. I don't think he's going to have the same season.
I don't think he's gonna have to though.
I don't think he's going to have to. But that is a big part of their offense.
Yep.
I can't see him doing a much pass. Like I still think they'll win the division. I think it's going to be a shit division.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be an easy transition.
Okay.
So
And then we've got the AFC East. Bills obviously walked away with that division last year. Dolphins were good, but not great. Patriots 7-9, and then the Jets were 2-14. I've got basically the exact same prediction in that order for this year. I've got the Bills taking that division. Dolphins, I think, will be good, and I think the Patriots will be a lot better than they were last year because they're getting a lot of their opt-outs from last year back.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys were good contributors on defense. So I don't think they're going to be 7-9 this. Well, obviously they can't be. I think they'll probably be closer to the opposite of that, 9-8 now,
Yeah.
rather than 7-9. So I think that order will be the same. We'll get into this a little bit later, but I got some big things going for the Bills. So
Yeah, that me too. I know it's preseason again, but from what I've seen from the secondary players, it has been really, really good.
yeah,
It's a hot team. I think they're only going to build on a season from last year. So,
yeah, and I think their defense is going to play a lot better than they did last year. And 2 years ago, it was one of their strengths. Last year was not
yeah.
a strength. So I think they're going to build that back up. And then if the offense looks anything like it did last year, they're going to be one of the teams to beat in the entire conference. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So I think that was an easy. I still got Bills. I absolutely in no way believe in Cam Newton. Uh, uh,
You believe in Mac
who?
Jones?
Mac Jones. Yeah, he's got a chance. He looked pretty good.
They both look
Um,
good in preseason so far, but
I still prefer Mac Jones,
yeah, I think if you're
but
looking for just
yeah, just like you said,
throwing, yeah, I think he's probably better. But I also think Cam gives you that wrinkle of the ability to make plays on his feet. And his arm has looked a lot better in preseason than it did last year. So I don't know
yeah,
if that's
much
just
better.
overcoming injury or if he's just not going to be able to throw ever again because of that shoulder injury he had. But I guess we'll see. Um, I don't think they're going to give it to Mac Jones right away. So I think it's going to be
I mean,
Cam's job to lose. But
but I think he'll lose it.
yeah, I mean, there's a good chance you don't take someone in the first round if you're not expecting to play him. So
Yeah, and ever since Cam's MVP season, I really haven't seen a highlight for quarterback. He's got the you know like you said, mobility, height, strength, everything you want in a good quarterback. He has all the ability. There's just something there that's not working.
yeah,
So, but it's a going to be a great team anyway.
yeah.
Uh, Belichick at the head. Like you said, all the opt-out players are back. That defense is going to be much better than it was.
And it was good last year. So
Yeah,
if they make improvements on that, like I said, they might not have to be that good on offense to compete. So moving on to the AFC North, we've got Steelers, Ravens, Browns, Bengals in that order from last year. Ravens and Browns shared the 11-5 record, and I think this is going to be another one of those strong divisions outside of the Bengals. Um, I don't know. I don't know what to believe in this division. I don't believe in the Browns because I've never really believed in them, and maybe that's just preconceived. But Steelers looked good, obviously last year up until the last 6 games of the season.
yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch! Just gave up a 2-run home run to take the lead.
Whoops.
Okay, so
Trophy's going back to San Francisco.
I hope not. They still got 2 chances to hit, so we'll see what happens. But Steelers, I'm just trying to pick between the Steelers and the Ravens because Ravens have one of those predictable offenses, and I think that's probably what kind of hurt them last year. But Steelers, if Ben can't play at the level he played 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they're not going to go super far either. Um, I've liked a lot of the additions, and I wish Kyle was on to talk about them because
Yeah,
he's watched them a lot closer than I have. But looks like that Fryermuth guy they picked, that tight end is going to be good. Najee Harris is going to be good. So I think they've made some improvements on their offense. I just don't believe. I think their number one wide receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster, and I don't think he's one on any other team. So I know they got that Chase Claypool guy. He looked pretty good last year in his rookie season. So if he can make improvements, maybe. But I just don't know. I guess I would pick probably Steelers, Ravens, Browns, Bengals in that order again. But I think the gap's probably going to be bigger with the Steelers and the Ravens probably 1 and 2, and like I said, Browns maybe slip a little bit, and the Bengals with a healthy Joe Burrow maybe win a couple more games. Um, but yeah, I don't feel like these are all good teams because of their defenses, but I don't feel good about any of them with their offense,
Right.
except maybe the Browns.
Yeah, it's like you said, a very tough to pick exactly how it's going to go because the Browns probably have the most talented roster in the division, but they're a dumpster fire
Mm-hmm.
constantly. I don't believe in the coaches. I'm not a huge Baker Mayfield fan. Uh,
And
the
that's the
defense should look really good, I think.
that's the part that's hardest for me is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, he's not. I don't know. I don't want to call him a wild card
It's what he is.
because he is. Huh?
That's what he is. He's a wild card.
That is. I feel like he's more consistent than a wild card, but he goes from like, basic normal to like red hot.
Yeah,
So he's not like Fitzpatrick where he's total garbage and then best quarterback who has ever played.
yeah.
He's, you know,
Always at least
I'll
average to above average, and then plays.
yeah, I'll go win a game and then I'll just play decent. So it's very hard to determine. I think they'll do well. I don't want to say that, but I think they'll do well. I don't think the Steelers are going to do well. Uh, they might surprise me. Najee Harris, I think is going to be going to have a really good uh, rookie season, but Juju Smith-Schuster and Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, they might take some strides. I don't see them really.
Yeah, I mean you're
I don't
basically
know,
picking
blowing my
between.
mind.
How old is Ben now? Like 38.
Yeah, I think he's 39.
So you're picking him versus a young. Um, we just said his name, Baker. Jesus.
Yeah, Mayfield.
And who you believe in more? Because based on what we
Well,
saw
I
last
believe
year, I
in
don't believe in Ben. But if he's coming back strong, then okay.
I believe in Lamar Jackson the most. I think the Ravens are going to take the division. Second, Browns, Steelers, third, and then the Bengals are going to suck.
Okay. Definitely reasonable. Um, we'll see what happens to that one. And then AFC West. This one's it's tough for me because I don't feel like it's a very competitive division, but I don't know that they're the like top end talent, so to speak.
Yeah.
Chiefs obviously are everyone's favorite. I'm gonna pick them as well, but I think they are gonna take a step back a little bit. Um, and then Raiders, Chargers, Broncos finished in that order last year. Wouldn't be surprised to see that again. In fact, I think the Raiders are probably going to surprise some people. And I don't usually say this. Usually I'm saying I think they're going to suck because they usually don't surprise me and do suck. But from all I'm hearing from camp and then obviously seeing the two preseason games, they're looking very competitive on defense. And obviously it's number twos going against number twos and threes going against number threes. But our number two defense is just playing out of its mind. And a lot of the guys that are on our number two defense definitely could be starters. In fact, Nate Hobbs, he's going to start the year at nickel cornerback because um, Nevin Lawson's on the 2-game suspension, so he was going to start anyway. but I don't think he's going to give the job back because he's playing so well in preseason. He's had a couple interceptions, he's had a couple pass breakups, a couple tackles for loss. He's just been all over the place, and he's been playing inside and outside cornerback. So very impressive showing from him. He's a fifth rounder, so not a lot of people were expecting him to do much, but I think they got a steal in him. Trevon Merrick, he's our second round pick this year. I think he's going to be a star in this league eventually. So just between those guys, I think they're going to start, even though they're not predicted to start. And if they're playing at that high a level and the starters play anything like them, I think the defense is going to be very good, especially compared to last year. I'm not going to say they're going to be a top 10 defense, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were right there on the cusp of top 10. So if they can do that, and then their offense was top 10 last year, and they can sustain that, wouldn't be surprised at all to see them win 10, 11 games and get into the playoffs. So I think the Chiefs, like I said, are going to take a little step back. They're still going to be the cream of the crop in this division. A lot of people are picking the Chargers to take second in the division, which they have a lot of talent, but they always get hurt. Justin Herbert, great, obviously. I just don't know. Basically, a second-year quarterback and a first-year head coach. I don't know that they're going to take the division by storm, so to speak. So um, I'm going to go Raiders 2, Chiefs 1, and then Broncos at the bottom of the division. And reason for that, great defense for the Broncos. I don't know that they have an answer at quarterback. They have great talent at wide receiver, but they don't have a great offensive line. And then running backs are just okay. So I think they're going to be last in the division again, as much as my Broncos friends might hate to hear this.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Broncos suck.
Yes, they do.
And it's great to watch them suck.
Yep.
I love watching it. Even if my Bronco friends hate hearing me say it, they suck. And they're going to be awful. And I've had to hear so much goddamn talk about Aaron Rodgers going to the Broncos. It ain't going to happen.
Obviously. Well, I mean, it might next year, but this year it's
Yeah, it
not.
might next year. But it ain't.
So who you got?
I kind of am with you a little bit. Like I'm with everyone else though. I do have Chiefs going first.
Yep.
Chargers going second. I do believe in the second year quarterback, first year coach. The rest of the talent on the team, I really like. Austin Eckler just surprised me how well he can play, running in and out of the tackles and out on the flat catching the ball. He's phenomenal. And I think Justin Herbert's going to. Well, I hope he takes another step. I hope it's not a sophomore slump.
Yeah.
I kind of believe in him. Nobody believed in him last year, and he played phenomenally. So
I wouldn't say no one believed in him. I just don't think anyone expected him to play as well as he did.
Yeah, I mean, his mom and dad probably believed in him, but none of the fucking analysts did. So
there were a few,
or didn't expect him to do what he did.
Yeah.
He threw for over 30 touchdowns. So
yeah, I think he's one of the few second-year players that's in contention for MVP for most people. So I get it. I just don't think the Chargers have been cursed for like the last 30 years with injuries. So it's almost like you expect it just to lose. Like last year they lost Joey Bosa, and who else did they lose?
But it's
I don't even know.
Almost like the curse of the Raiders just being terrible.
Yeah.
You can't just expect them not to be.
Yeah.
I think the Browns are the only team, and well, Detroit's pretty bad too, that can take those titles for just being dumpster fire organizations.
Okay. Now that you've aired yourself out there, who you got for
third for Raiders? Broncos suck.
Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna go. Let's see. Titans. I think the Titans are probably gonna have one of the better records. I think the Bills will too. Steelers are going to be. I don't think they're going to have as good a record because that division's good outside of the Bengals. Same thing with the Chiefs. I'm going to go Bills over the Chiefs in the AFC. So it'll be Bills and Rams
Bills
for
and
my picks
Rams.
for the Super Bowl. Who you got?
That's a good, interesting choice. It's probably predictable. Bills, Chiefs, I think, are the most likely to come out,
Yeah.
and I do got them going to the conference finals. So, but I got the Chiefs. I think what happened last year in just getting throttled. I think they're coming back for a vengeance this year, and I think they're going to the Super Bowl.
Okay. Who you got?
Hopefully not against the Bucks.
You
Hopefully
said.
it's Green Bay. And
Well, that's who you picked. So
yep,
between those two, who you got? Packers and
Green Bay's
Chiefs.
gonna hold the trophy at the end of the year.
You know what's
You know,
funny?
rise it up, and then Rodgers is gonna be like, "This is the greatest town. I love this place. I'm coming back forever." And every everyone's going to rejoice.
Funny thing is, like 2 podcasts ago, you were saying that they're gonna not do well this season. Now you're picking them to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, that was only because I wasn't sure that Rodgers was gonna actually come back. But
All right. So I'm gonna pick Bills or Rams. Bills never win it when they're actually in the Super Bowl, so that's a tough thing. I'm gonna go with the Bills.
nice, I like it. I'm not even mad.
I hope it happens. I mean, obviously, our boy Josh Allen's out there, so. Speaking of Josh Allen, he's my pick for MVP.
Nice.
And then Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, you can pick Aaron Donald because he pretty much wins it every year.
Yeah, it's solid work.
I'm trying to think who. Oh, Chase Young. That's who I was going to pick for Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs, being on the other
Nice.
end of those Josh Allen throws. And then Offensive Rookie of the Year, Najee Harris.
It's a good pick.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going to go Trevon Merrick from the Raiders, safety. If they're going to have a great year like I think they are, I think he's going to be right in the middle of it. Comeback Player of the Year. I'm trying to think who would even be in the running for that. Saquon Barkley. That's going to be my pick. And then for Coach of the Year, it's got to be McDermott since they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In my picks. So, go ahead
Pretty
with
good.
yours.
MVP. MVP. Yeah. Josh Allen, probably MVP this year. I think a lot of people wanted him last year. Tom Brady's getting hurt. So.
Well, even if he doesn't, I don't think he's going to be playing at MVP level.
Yeah, because he sucks.
No,
But
he
he's
doesn't
hurt,
suck.
so we don't have to worry
But,
about it.
okay.
Defensive Player of the Year, I still want to go with Joey Bosa.
Okay.
Offensive
Joey
Player
or
of the
Nick?
Year.
Joey's on the Chargers.
Oh, Nick.
That's
Nick.
what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Offensive Player of the Year, I got CMC. He's just going to light it up. It's hard not to go for him every time. He's killed me like 2 years ago before he was hurt.
Yep.
In fantasy. Basically just won it by himself. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm probably going Najee Harris as well. Can't see anybody outside of that. There might be like a, outside wide receiver.
I mean,
that's
could
going to
also
surprise
have
you somewhere.
one of the quarterbacks, like Trey Lance or Justin Fields or
Yeah.
quarterbacks typically win if they have decent seasons. So, like Kyler Murray
I
won it
don't
over
see
Josh
Trevor.
Jacobs, and Josh
We were
Jacobs,
we were
come on.
yeah. We were talking about it the last time though with Trevor Lawrence. It's his to win,
Yeah.
but I right now I don't see him doing it.
I think Trey Lance has the best chance to start right away and make an impact. So I think if I
Yeah,
had to pick a runner up behind Najee, it would be him. But
yeah.
who you got for comeback player of the year? Or no, sorry, defensive rookie of the year.
Defensive rookie. I'm not sure about this one. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to go a wash with this one. I'm really not certain.
Okay.
Comeback player of the year, probably Cam Newton.
Well, if you're picking Nick
I don't want to
Bosa
say it.
to win
Oh
defensive
yeah,
player of the year, you may as well pick
yeah,
him
yeah.
there too.
I would pick him
Okay.
over that. I
And
had
then
Cam Newton because he's quarterback,
yeah.
and if he plays well,
But you
I
also
think
have
he's going to
Mac
be on a
Young
winning team.
replacing him.
I do, but I think that's an easy pick if he plays well,
Yeah.
because like you said, a quarterback's going to win it more times out of 10.
Okay.
So
And then coach of year, you have your coach.
yeah, my coach. No, I like you, Sean McDermott.
All right.
That one or Rams coach,
Yep. McVay. It's a good choice too.
McVay.
Okay, so that went a little bit longer than I thought it would, so I'll just be brief with this
Yeah.
Raiders stuff. I already talked about, I think their defense is looking much improved. I think this is probably attributed to, obviously, moves they've made, but I also think the having Gus Bradley as our defensive coordinator has made all the difference in the world. He's simplified that defense and just let them play rather than thinking about where should I be. Uh, Nothing against our former defensive coordinator, but he had a lot of complex packages where no one on the defense even knew where they were supposed to be, and that led to a lot of players being out of position and it just not working. So I think it's probably going to be a lot better this year. Like I said, maybe not top 10, but right on the brink, maybe top 15. And then I already mentioned Nate Hobbs, Trevon Merrick. Those guys are going to be huge on the defense as rookies, as well as Max Crosby. We also got Yannick Ngakoue. So I think that defense is just going to be good enough to keep us in games and make plays to get the ball in the offense's hand. And then I think getting Foster Moreau back he was back last year, but I don't think he was 100% because they were starting Greg Witten over him. Or Jason Witten, sorry. Jason Witten over him, even though he wasn't the best option in my opinion. So I think Moreau's going to be a good offensive weapon in the red zone, which we struggled in last year. And then Trey Regis has been a stud in the preseason. I think he's going to bump Jalen Richard off the roster. We've talked about it before. I think Jalen Richard's probably on his way out. His foot injury probably saved him from being released right away. Um, Maybe they'll just put him on the IR and then settle with him. I just don't. I think they'll probably just wait for him to get healthy though, because if they cut him now, um, they'll save that 3.5 million. So we'll see what happens with that. But like you said, all good stuff from the Raiders that I've seen. I think the only real questions are right now is how well is the offensive line going to do. Richie Incognito got hurt in the preseason game he just played in, or no, he got hurt in practice, not the preseason game. So if he's back by the start of the regular season, I think the offensive line is going to be at least decent enough to keep Derek Carr upright, and they're really good at run blocking. So I think Jacobs and Kenyon Drake will have a great season. Um, Outside of that, nothing but positive things to say. So that's not normal going into the last preseason game. Usually there's a lot of, oh no, this team's not going to be great. So, like you said, all good stuff that I've seen so far. What do you got from the Packers?
Oh, it sounds like an exciting time right now for you with the Raiders, but I don't know. It's hard to get jazzed for the Raiders for me, I guess, but probably the same for you as Packers. Uh, what I've seen from the Packers camp has been really, really enlightening. Uh, so many smiles on people's faces. I think the team's really, really having a great, great camp preseason. Uh, I think it's going to transfer over to the regular season. We have a extremely talented roster, so I'm just very excited for the season to begin.
Yeah.
Uh, it's going to be a big season this season because next season, I think there's going to be a lot of changes. So
Yep.
I just kind of want to see how it plays out for now. Live in the moment, I guess.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I think this is like they posted on their Instagram, the last dance. So going to be a lot
yeah,
of changes coming after this season, and probably
it
not for
wouldn't
the best. But
it wouldn't surprise me to see Devontae Adams possibly traded this season because I don't know if they'll be able to sign him.
they definitely won't be able to sign him. He's already broke off extension talks, so I don't think
But
there's any.
they came back with extension talks now that Rodgers came back.
Yeah, but he
They
already said he's
restructured
not
his
coming back.
contract. Who?
Rodgers. He's not going to stay to play with Rodgers if Rodgers isn't going to be there.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. Like they saved a bunch of money restructuring Rodgers' contract, so they have more money to throw at Devontae Adams.
We'll
But
see.
it is the limit is he wants the most money in the league.
Yep.
So
That's going to be tough to do with what Hopkins is
exactly,
making.
exactly. So I don't see it happening. I
I don't
really
think
don't
he's
see it
going to get
happening.
that much anyway. I think Hopkins, like, there's Hopkins and then there's like number two, like way below him. So
Yeah.
I think it's like a $4 million separation or something like that between Hopkins and the next highest paid player. So I don't think they're going to look to set a record, any team to sign him. So
Well, I hope not. But I do see him leaving,
yeah,
not wanting to stay because he doesn't get that contract. So it wouldn't surprise me if they shipped him off before deadline.
yeah. I just don't think that would happen with Rodgers coming back. Like he might just be like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
If you guys want to trade away my best receiver, then I'm just gonna be done.
That's my point to the I just want to live in the moment because the moment right now is great.
Yep.
The future terrifies me.
Yep.
So,
All right. Well, I think
all right.
we've gone over time a little bit, so let's call her
Let's
here.
wrap it up.
As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let us know what we're doing good, what we're not, and we'll go from there. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for coming.